Coach, you just want to make some opening remarks about going to the tournament, what that means to you, the program, how you got here, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think, obviously very important for the program and important for the players. I think as the coach of the program, it's definitely important as we continue building and making this a better, bigger program as far as buy-in from the players. Been telling them a lot over the last few years and how you become recognized on a national level, and I think them reaching this point is more buy-in to what we're trying to build and teach them. So I think that part's really important and definitely exciting. They're all really excited, and I'm definitely excited. We're excited about the draw and the opportunity to go to Florida State.
Coming into the year, did you think, what were your goals, obviously, to get here, but did you think this was realistic?
100%. I did, yeah. And I think, that's the whole reason that we had the non-conference schedule that we had, and we had a group that was prepared for it. We had a group talented enough to be successful in playing that non-conference schedule. And that's all preparation in the long term. Definitely preparation for conference, but preparation if you do get to the NCAA tournament to see high caliber teams. So I definitely thought this team was more than ready and more than prepared to make it to this point.
You got the player of the year and the setter of the year who came here together, right?
Correct.
Can you talk a little bit about their relationship, how they ended up here, and what it's meant to have them?
Yeah, it's a pretty unique situation. So they grew up playing the club volleyball together, our AAU volleyball from the same town, Minneapolis.
They play in the same high school?
They did not play same high school, so same club team, and volleyball club is usually in general, usually the bigger portion of a volleyball player's experience. So setter-hitter relationship too, I think that makes it a pretty unique relationship. Played on the same club team for several years and came here together. So I think to already have that trust and kind of dynamics between each other on the court where you don't have to say a lot, you already know how the other operates is pretty important, and obviously the talent level of the two are pretty special.
How did you get them to come here? They're from Minnesota.
Yeah, they're from Minnesota. That's a great question. A lot of work, a lot of, I think we do a lot with our recruiting as far as the philosophy of showing them exactly what it is that we have here at UC, and also showing that we're a pretty family-oriented group. We're going to take care of them. We're going to compete at the highest level, and we're going to work hard. And I think they're two players that were, kind of touched them personally, and that was something that they were looking for. So in general, it was just a national kind of normal recruiting trip, going out to these big tournaments, identifying them as elite level athletes, contacting them, and getting them on campus.
But you didn't have a prior relationship
no
with
prior
one of their
relationship.
coaches or anything?
No, nothing.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So I think once we got them here on campus, and as is with most of our recruiting, once we get the players here on campus and they can kind of see what UC is about in our facilities and what we have to offer, it's always a special visit.
How much did you celebrate when you got them to sign here?
A lot, yeah. That's a good celebration.
I mean, you knew what you had then.
Yeah, I knew what I had, and looking at that time frame of what we were recruiting, we weren't selling a lot. There wasn't. It was kind of a future hope in what we thought the program would look like. I think internally what I knew it would look like, but when you don't have a whole lot at that time to put down on paper, then you're really kind of selling an image and what you think will come together. I mean, I knew it, but it was going to be convincing those players, and that's a lot of trust from them and believing in what we're giving them, knowing that they could trust themselves to be a part of it and kind of grow the program.
You had kind of tough circumstances when you took over because of the way Reed left, I would think. Did you feel like you were kind of starting over the whole program, or what was the situation?
Yeah, and transition is transition. This program has been good, and Reed did a great job here, and anytime there's a shift, there's always a shift, and just kind of creating your own mark and a program that historically has been really strong, creating your own mark and finding your own kids. And, we were really senior heavy too. So I think as far as that first year, having a lot of seniors, there was a whole kind of restart because you basically lose the bulk of your program. So in volleyball's early recruiting, so when you have to replace a lot of people quickly, it doesn't necessarily happen. You've got to just take the time to get out there and fight a lot of.
And your opponent in the NCAA?
Florida State.
What do you know about them?
They'll be strong. I've known Chris Poole for a long time, their head coach, and always does a great job. He's a great stats guy, great numbers guy, always has very talented athletes. They're going to be a big, strong team. So I think we'll compete well. I think everybody that we've seen this season will, and where we've played, the atmospheres that we've been able to play in, has definitely prepared us without a doubt.
You were named Conference Coach of the Year. Can you talk about what that means to you?
I think, it kind of goes back to the culture that I talked about as us building and it being a team effort. And, I don't get that. The first thing I told the players is I don't get that. We don't get any recognition unless the team wins. So I think, it's a great reward, but more for the players to know what they've accomplished. I think for them, hopefully, for myself as well, just the respect of the league and the coaches recognizing the work that we've put in here. I think that part's really important, and to continue to keep growing. Like I said, you reach these milestones and have these accomplishments. It's always just a little bit more motivation to keep going, to keep growing, and to understand that everything we've put in, it's a lot of work, and everything that I'm telling them that they have to do and be prepared for, they're reaping the rewards of that. So I think success breeds success, right? So hopefully we'll just keep growing and going up and up.
On top of being Coach of the Year, there's 7 total all-conference awards. What does it mean for you guys to kind of take all those awards and going into the tournament, what that means for the girls' confidence?
Yeah, another, Sunday was such a special time and so exciting, and they definitely enjoyed that. I think this is another reminder of, hey, look at what you've accomplished. You deserve to be here. You can be in this spot and be very successful. So I think they're all little reminders of what you put in is what you get out of it. So hopefully we get a lot out of them out of practice today.
Look at this team. This is the first time you guys are making it to the tournament, this roster of girls. So what are you telling them to prepare them for Friday?
That is a great question, because I think the immediate feeling or the immediate sense of urgency is there's something big. What are we going to do? And obviously it is big. It's really important to be in this situation. But the very first comment out of my mouth is, hey, this is another match. We're not going to do anything differently. We're going to prepare the exact same way. As coaches, we're going to prepare you the same way. So we'll do our scouting the way we've always done it. We're going to run our practices the way we've always done them. We can't treat this match any differently than we have any other match. So it's one match right in front of you, and that's it, and that's what we have to prepare for. So I think there's the natural feelings of trying to block out the glitz and glamour of the tournament and really focus in on the match. So I think as a first time team to that, I've experienced that before, of just really trying to minimize everything that they have to think about. So we're taking a lot off their plate and just letting them or allowing them to think about volleyball only.